Sorry, everybody. A little technical difficulty right out of the gate there. I was muted. My name is Chris Riley, and I would like to welcome you to the Victor Valley Union High School District Town Hall. This is our third Town Hall of the year. We'd like to thank everyone who joined us the last couple of times, and we would like to now welcome our panel. So I'm going to start off with our superintendent. That's Dr. Ron Williams. And we have our Assistant Superintendent of Business Services, that's Dr. Antoine Hawkins. We have our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, that's Dr. Fall Esrani. And I know she was having some technical issues too, so I'm not sure she can hear what I'm saying right now. And we also have our Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, that's Dr. Ramiro Rubalcaba. He is on the road right now, so he might not be on the video, but he will be present as much as we can. We're very happy to have with us our association presidents. That's our employee association. So we have, sorry for not going in alphabetical order here. We have Victor Valley Teachers Association, and that's Anita Tucker, the president. And then we have the CSEA, that's Classified School Employees Association president of our local chapter, Tanya Martin. And then we have our two principals with us tonight. We have Dr. Clarissa McNally. And I think, Dr. McNally, when I sent out the notice about this, I called you Mrs. McNally. In fairness to me, you are kind of recently a Dr. McNally, so give me a little bit of a break on that one. And then we have our principal of Silverado High School, and that is Mrs. Heather Conkle. So I'd like to thank all of you for joining us and all of our panelists. And now I'm going to hand it over to our superintendent, Dr. Ron Williams.
Thank you so very much. I know that we've been meeting like about every couple of weeks. And I know that with school reopening, we felt it was very important for us to have a meeting this week. And our intent is like over the next couple of weeks is for us to be doing these about once a week with two of our schools. This evening, we're very fortunate to have Silverado High School and Cobalt Institute for Math and Science, along with their principals. And I know that if you have some questions in regards to those schools in particular, please let us know in the comment line, and we will try to address those. And with that, I would like to welcome the CSEA President, Tanya Martin, for her to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. We are excited to be back. Just welcome, and I'm here to answer any questions needed from me. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Tanya. And I would also like to welcome the VVTA President, Mrs. Anita Tucker.
Good evening. As teachers, we're so excited to welcome our students back. I've been fortunate to have seniors this past couple weeks, and it's been great working with them. It's been great seeing them. We had an event at Sims where they picked up their cap and gowns, and just getting to meet kids that I've had in my class all year but haven't actually met physically was great to talk with them and see them. And we're excited. We want to bring them back safely, but we're really excited. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And first of all, we're going to start off with a video for the Cobalt Institute for Math and Science, followed by a few comments by Dr. McNally.
Okay, yeah, and these videos, the special thing about both of these videos is we actually had students narrate these. We had them come in here and record them. And so this was done by a student by the name of Diego Lecomte, and he did a wonderful job. So let's take a look at this. It's just a real quick video about Cobalt Institute of Math and Science.
Welcome to Cobalt Institute of Math and Science, home of the Cougars. We call it SIMS for short. We are a school of choice, serving grades 7 through 12 in Victorville, California. What does school of choice mean? It means you and your family choose us for our academic rigor and excellent campus culture. There are a few basic requirements to attend SIMS, including academics and attendance. We require uniforms, but don't worry, you'll look good. As the name implies, Cobalt Institute of Math and Science is a STEM-focused school. STEM means science, technology, engineering, and math. Education in these fields will prepare you for the college of your choice and an exciting career. SIMS partners with Project Lead the Way to provide pathways in biomedical, computer science, and engineering. Project Lead the Way has honored SIMS with its Distinguished School Award. But SIMS is about more than science. We offer a wide range of core academic courses, electives, clubs, and extracurricular activities, including sports, from the sports fields to academic pentathlon and decathlon to mock trial and cadet corps. SIMS students are making a name for themselves in the region.
Having a school of choice is a really great opportunity for students, for families, as it is one where specifically SIMS narrows the focus. We have a strong foundation in math and science. Those are the kids that really want to pursue potential careers in the field, and a school of choice gives them the opportunity to really delve into the curriculum that is going to help expand their knowledge and their learning for future endeavors.
SIMS is a fully accredited school, and our classes are A through G approved, which means you'll be ready for college when you graduate. SIMS is quickly becoming one of the most highly awarded schools in the high desert. Are you interested in finding out what SIMS can do for you and your future? Visit our website to learn more today.
Mike, I don't think your mic is on.
Richard over here in the next room told me that we are not having connectivity issues and it was totally fine, right? Everyone could see it except for me, because I just saw a bunch of choppy screens. So anyway, let's hand it over to Clarissa McNally.
Hello, everyone, and good evening. We at SIMS are super excited to have our kids back. Our staff has missed them, and we are eager to have that personal connection. So there's two areas where I would ask for some help from parents and in regards to returning students. I've sent out an email regarding the permission form. Please email that to me ASAP so that I can get an accurate count of how many students to anticipate. And then also, please have conversations with your child about the physical distancing. When we've had seniors, that seems to be our greatest challenge. But other than that, we are super excited and looking forward to Monday.
Oh, thank you so very much, Dr. McNally. Next, we have a video from Silverado High School, and the principal, Mrs. Kunkel, will be speaking shortly afterwards. Okay. And I'm not sure who spoke, which one of the students narrated this.
This is another student who I think you've met, Dr. Williams, because she is one of our student board members, Hannah Lind, and she did a wonderful job on this one. So here we go.
Welcome to Silverado High School, home of the Hawks. We are a 4-year comprehensive high school in Victorville, California. What does comprehensive mean? It means we have a little something for everyone. If sports is your thing, you'll find some of the best state-of-the-art facilities in the high desert at Silverado. And our sports teams have won countless league titles and reached numerous CIF semifinals and finals. But we offer much more than sports. From cooking to choir, photography to child development, Silverado can send you soaring on a path to an exciting career. And Silverado is a highly awarded, fully accredited academic institution that will prepare you for your college of choice. Silverado grads have won prestigious scholarships such as the Gates Scholarship and have attended many Ivy League universities.
Silverado High School is the best choice for your high school student because of the wide variety of options that it provides. From advanced placement courses to avid opportunities to over 100 clubs and sports, there is something for everyone on Silverado's campus.
Are you interested in soaring with the Hawks at Silverado High School? Let's find your flight path. Visit our website to learn more today.
Thank you so very much, Mrs. Kunkel.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Like my neighbor, Dr. McNally, up at Sims, we have just finished our first full week and a half of returning seniors to our campus, which was absolutely amazing and so great to see them. We are also looking forward to, on Monday, returning those 9th, 10th, and 11th graders who have opted to return from distance learning and join us 2 days a week based on the the first letter of their last name in the alphabet. We have had quite a good rate of return, and so consequently, those groups will need to be divided so that we maintain capacity restrictions. With that in mind, we are having 3 orientation sessions for students and families, and I just sent those out today. There will be 1 on Thursday of this week and 2 on Friday. So if you are seeking more information about students' return to campus for our underclassmen, please join me in one of those Zoom orientation sessions, and we'll see you later this week. And we can't wait to see our underclassmen on Monday. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Mr. Riley, any board members?
I have not heard from any yet. So if we do have any board members out there watching us, please chime in on the comments, shoot me an email, shoot me a text if you have my numbers. I think most of them do. So however you want to get a hold of me, and we'll give you a little shout out. And we can go ahead and move on to the questions, Dr. Williams, if you're ready.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so will the days for grades going in Monday be the same as for the seniors?
Principals?
That sounds like it might be a little bit of a Silverado specific question, Dr. McNally, so I'll take it first and then kick it over to you. For Silverado, yes, it will be. Mondays and Tuesdays are last names A through K, and Thursdays and Fridays are last names L through Z. Thank you.
And I would also concur with Ms. Conkle. We have divided up our alpha A to K last name and on Mondays and Tuesdays, L to Z on Thursday and Friday. The other 3 remaining days are virtual learning like they've been doing all year for students.
Thank you so very much.
And I did get an email question, and this is a pretty easy one, but the individual said that they did not want to send their daughter back to school. And I said, that's okay, you don't have to. I don't know if any of you want to elaborate a little bit more on that. Do we know, and this is actually a question that I have, I know the future is unknown, and that's what we've been dealing with for over a year with this whole COVID thing, is waiting for the state, waiting to know, is everything going to be open or not? Right now, they're saying June 15th is the date when we might have everything open. So as we look past this school year, yes, obviously, if people want to keep their kids home right now this school year, they can do that. Their kids do not have to go back. Do we have any idea when we look towards next school year, are we expecting to bring all the kids back at that time?
Well, let me start off the answer. Our intent at this particular time is next year for all of our students to be returned 100% in person. And I think that's what the governor is, and we're hoping that, our vaccination rates as well as our infection rates will reflect that. That is our plan at this particular point in time. And we will be able to accommodate those students parents that may feel that they would like to continue to have their child in a virtual environment. We're fortunate to have the Victor Valley Virtual Academy that's a part of our repertoire of offerings in the Victor Valley Union High School District at this particular point in time. But we believe that we have something for every student in our community to serve their individual needs. And I don't know, Dr. Aswani, would you like to add anything to that?
Good evening. No, thank you, Dr. Williams. You answered it correctly. That's what we've been hearing from the state as well.
Mr. Riley, I think you're on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I was actually talking to Richard right now about what questions we were going to answer. But this, I told him, was an easy one. Do we know if 7th and 8th graders at Hook will be returning? Easy answer, yes. But there's specifics you can get from the school site. I don't know if we'd like to say anything more about that.
Well, I'll just add, for those students that are volunteering to return, yes, we want to make sure we provide that in-person service for instructions for them. But I would definitely encourage them to contact their principal, Mr. Cerner, and they can provide all of the information that they would need.
Yeah, and so just to reiterate, I have the little banner down there. So basically, all students can return to school on Monday. We put out some surveys, Dr. Israni and her team, and those who responded to the survey saying they wanted to come back are being contacted already. Like I think Mrs. Conkle was telling me you're contacting people today. So if you did not answer a survey and you do want to come back, you need to get in touch with your school site and tell me if I'm wrong, Dr. McNally and Mrs. Conkle, but you don't want them just surprise showing up on Monday, right?
I can speak for Sims, and I'm probably sure it's for Ms. Conkle as well. We want to prepare our schools the best we can, and so it helps us to anticipate and know how many students are actually physically going to be on campus. So for Sims, I'm requesting that parents email me the consent form as I'm keeping a list and sharing with students so we can provide the best opportunity and provide kids with a safe environment. Ms. Conkle, do you have something that's different?
The only thing I would say is that our population is slightly larger, and so we are currently collating the survey responses, and we'll begin calling anyone who did not respond to the survey. So if you didn't respond, you'll get a call from us. If you wish to change your response, either to return instead of remaining home or to remain home instead of returning, we would ask that you please email me at the school. Thank you.
All right, thank you. How will busing work if all the schools are starting at the same time? I think that's under the umbrella of Dr. Hawkins, but maybe Dr. Williams, you'd like to speak on that too?
Well, I'll go ahead and pass to Dr. Hawkins. Go ahead.
Well, we're currently conducting an analysis at this time to ensure that we can service all of the students that will be returning. Once we've finished our analysis in terms of how many students will need bus transportation, we will then begin to assign students to stops that are most closest to their home. We're looking at, in a measurable way, reallocating our current resources that we have throughout the district in order to meet any need as we scale up the provision of transportation services for students within our geographic boundaries.
And let me just add a little bit to that, for SIMS and UP, those students are not provided transportation at this particular point in time, but it will be applicable to the other schools that Dr. Hawkins was referring to.
Okay, Mrs. Conkle, has Silverado finally made a decision for senior graduation?
The answer to that is yes, and sort of. The benefit for attending tonight's town hall is that you're going to get some information that's hot off the press. We have a general structure for our senior graduation that includes a 1-hour drive-through option in the morning for those families who are still not quite comfortable in a crowd-like outdoor setting. From that morning ceremony, we will transition to 2 modified stadium graduation ceremonies. They will look similar to our traditional ceremony, but not exact, in that we will have divide the class into 2 ceremonies. We will have limited spectator capacity based on the tier that we are in at the time. And we also are required to have 2 hours in between the 2 ceremonies. So there will be one that will begin in the early afternoon, followed by a 2-hour break. And then the second ceremony, divided by alphabet, will begin later in the afternoon after we've had the required time in between.
Okay, great. And before we move on to the next question, I did want to say that Mr. Jose Barrios did email me, and it took that email a little while to pop through, but I did just get it, and he is apparently joining us tonight. So hello, Mr. Barrios, and thank you for being with us. He also had a question, and the question is, he said that he heard that UP is turning people away due to class size limits. Is this correct? Now, we don't have anyone from UP with us, so I don't know if we have an answer, but I don't know who wants to take that one.
Well, I'll take it on. We will get a response to him, and I'll have to speak to the principal.
Hi, Mrs. Tucker, I miss you. That's Stina Bellina. I don't know. One of your ex-students, I suppose, or maybe a student who hasn't been able to show up to school because of everything. How are IEPs being conducted with the return of students to school? Will it continue to be virtual?
Dr. Aswani?
I can answer that. Thank you. That conversation is happening up and down the state. We believe that we will continue with the virtual IEPs if parents are not able to make it. Our staff have indicated that they've enjoyed the fact that parents have been able to participate a little bit more because it's virtual and not having to depend on coming to the school site. So yes, if parents cannot make it, we will continue with virtual.
And I did want to just talk really quickly about, there's this question here from Nicole, and I'm sorry, Nicole, but one of the challenges of trying to answer this question for 8 schools is that, you know, we were doing this last week where it was just us from the district, and we had people asking specific site questions, which is why we had the idea, let's start bringing these principals in 2 at a time. We can tell you everything you want to know tonight about Sims and Silverado, but unfortunately for some of those other school sites, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for us to answer about a specific graduation at one of those schools. But I would contact your school site and see what you can find out from them directly. Will students be going from class to class, or will they stay in one class? And this is for Sims. So, Dr. McNally.
All right, Kimberly. Yes, when students arrive on campus, they will be moving through each of their 7 periods throughout the day. So there's only going to be 5 minutes transition between class periods, so it's going to be quick. I also did want to address, because I know some parents may have the questions regarding graduation at Sims. I've been working with HR, and we are planning on trying to have our graduation at High Desert Church, but we are waiting for the guidelines and regulations to come out, hopefully by the end of this week, so we can firm up. If we are not able to have it at High Desert, then we will do a drive-through graduation like we did last year. But our goal, we want to provide our seniors at least the sense of a real graduation, if at all possible.
And let me just share, Dr. McNally, and for your community, there was a meeting this afternoon or earlier this morning with the county health department that I was along with Dr. Williams. So I'm quite sure that some additional guidance regarding indoor graduations will be forthcoming within the next day or so.
Thank you.
My son said his teacher said the students are responsible for cleaning the desks and the custodians don't ever do it because they don't have time. Luckily, his teacher said she cleans all the desks. This is Cat Lover 2000. So who wants?
Dr. Hawkins.
So ultimately, the responsibility for cleaning district facilities rests with district staff. We have a plan in place to ensure that we're cleaning on a regular basis because we want to assure you as our parents and our students, as well as our employees within our communities, that we take cleaning of our facilities very seriously. To the question specifically regarding student cleaning, we are providing wipes to students within the classroom environment. A student is capable and able of wiping down their area and so forth. However, I want you to know that we will also engage in robust cleaning throughout the district at all of our sites as we operationalize bringing students back into the classrooms.
Thank you. What repercussions could students face if they refuse to wear a mask?
Dr. Ubakaba.
I know he said he was on the road and maybe he is having some connectivity.
Oh, there he comes.
Okay, there he is.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay, so
Oops, you're muted again.
You're muted again.
Dr. Rubalcaba, I don't know if you can hear us, but you are muted. And like I said, I know he was going from place to
well,
place.
I'll
So
just,
maybe
I think
Dr.
I
Williams
can,
would like to speak on it.
yeah, I think I can answer it for him if I recall correctly. He can correct me afterwards. But no, students will be required to wear face covering if they're on our facilities.
Dr.
Oh.
Rubalcaba, did you have something to add to that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Did you have something to add to that about what kind of discipline there might be if a student doesn't wear a mask?
Chris, are you able to hear me?
I'm
Yes.
able to hear you, yes. Can you hear us? It doesn't seem so. So, all right. Well, let's move on to the next one. Can you please explain what the holdup is for going back full-time at 100% capacity? Schools in the state and around the country have gone back and haven't had any issues.
And I say, I don't know, Dr. Rubalcaba, do you want to take that one on? Should I?
Hello? Yeah, I think
Okay.
Dr. Rubalcaba might just be having too many problems there.
Yes, our school board approved the reopening continuum, and we're working within a colored spectrum at this particular point in time. And at this particular time, we could bring back up to 50% in the county of San Bernardino based upon the positivity rate and infection rate at this particular point in time. So maintaining 6 feet distance, we cannot bring back all of our students at this particular point in time. But the infection and positivity rate is going in a direction that we hope to be able to bring them all back, at least by the beginning of the following year. But California and other states have different criteria that we're utilizing. And at this particular time, that's the color code that we're in that allows us to bring up to the number of students that we're bringing back. And although in some of our schools, we're talking about, maybe 40%, but we're looking at breaking those into 2 cohorts of about 22, 23% in each one of those at this particular time. But as soon as public health gives us authority to be able to open up 100%, we will be more than happy to do that.
Yeah, and that's, and I'm kind of just repeating what Dr. Williams said here, but when you talk about what other places in the state and particularly other places in the country are doing, that is not applicable to us, obviously. You have states in the Southeast who were fully opening when we were at the height of the pandemic. And to say that they had no issues, I think would be incorrect also. And so we really are not able to, just because of the limitations put on us by the Department of Health, we are not able to open at 100% capacity. But as Dr. Williams said, we would love to, and we would love to see more of our students back in school. So what else do we have here? Will all students be required to fully vaccinate by the fall semester?
Well, I don't know. It's Dr. Rubalcaba. If not, I will take it.
I think he's gone. So yeah, Dr.
Okay. Now, what was the question once more? Because you took it down.
Will students be required to fully vaccinate by the fall semester?
Well, the requirement component, no one is required to get vaccinated at this particular point in time. I know when you say students, if you're talking about 16 or above, that's a different component that we're looking at than students that are somewhat younger. And so at this particular time, the requirement factor, we're not requiring students to be, we're not aware of any legislation that's requiring students to be required to be vaccinated to return at this particular time. But that is subject to change. And we will keep parents and our students updated as quickly as we get new information in regards to vaccination requirements.
Right. And at this point, and I think you may have already said this, but no one under 16 can get it anyway. So
Yeah.
All of those students are not even eligible. My daughter was told she would be kicked out of her class if no one else is in class, like she's the only one who signed up to go back in many of her classes. What happens if she's the only one in class? Will she get kicked out, and should she just stay home?
Dr. Aswani, you want to take that one on?
Thank you. I know that each of the school principals, they can answer best because they've come up with some wonderful ways of making sure that the student and the teachers are in a safe location and so that students are not alone in the class. So can one of the principals take what you're doing at your school sites? I don't think we're kicking anybody out.
Well, I can answer for Sims. It's not that students are being kicked out, but for the protection of students and staff, we want to ensure that everyone is comfortable. So at Sims, what we have done is we have learning pods where we have sent students over there for the one period only while there is just one student or one teacher in a classroom. However, with everyone or majority of our students returning on Monday, I see that this probably will be a non-issue moving forward.
Okay. There was one thing, Cat Liver 2000. I think they did go back. Didn't the CDC now say that it can be 3 and not 6? Is that true?
Yes, that is correct. But we're trying to be extra cautious, and so we're taking every step possible for us to utilize 6 feet at this particular point in time, based upon the number of students that we've had that's indicated that they would be willing to come back in person. We're making every effort to accommodate 6 feet, even though CDC has said 3 feet.
Chris, before you go to the next question, I think Principal Conkle was going to respond as well. Would we give her a chance about the question regarding students not being alone in the classroom?
Dr. McNally hit basically the highlights of what's also happening at Silverado with regards to the learning pods for single students so that everyone is comfortable, both staff and students. But with that being said, the very creative staff at Silverado High School has come up with unique ideas for combining classes for students who need, for example, math help. So if there's only one student in a math class, but there are other students who are single students in other classes who need math help, they're putting those kids together so that no one is alone, but they are still getting the math support. The same is also true for our PE department. They have combined forces so that those students can still get their PE experience, even though they might be the single student in the classroom. However, like Dr. McNally said, as we bring more students back to campus, we are going to mitigate the number of times that those issues arise as well. Thank you.
Okay. And Richard, okay, so from Valerie Ann Ledesma, and by the way, I don't think we mentioned Richard Gonzalez, who is kind of curating these questions and bringing them up for us, helping us out behind the scenes. So Valerie Ann Ledesma asks, should we have been notified already if our student is going back? My daughter goes to Hook.
Well, I think the response, I don't know if this parent indicated that they wanted their child to return, but we would definitely encourage them to contact their school. Mr. Cerner will be more than happy to share that information. And please try to keep your questions in regards to SIM or Silverado, because we have those principals here. But we would imagine that Mr. Cerner, the principal at Hook, has been notifying all of the students. And we've sent out a survey maybe about a week ago in regards to those parents that were interested in returning. Okay, we're going to go probably an extra 2 minutes. And I know that some of you are asking questions. We want you to contact your schools directly because we're not going to be able to answer. We can answer the majority of the general questions, but some of the specific questions that you're asking in regards to some of the schools that's not on the panel tonight is going to be a challenge for us to answer.
Mikey Wise, I'm sorry. Mikey Wise, I just want to say one thing. Some people are home right now because work is over, but this is my office. That's Dr. Williams' office. So I just want to let you know. So anyway, so anything else we want to bring in, Richard? Greetings to all. For the upcoming school year 21-22, why can't a camera be placed in classrooms to allow for those who want to continue distant learning? Only option for my kids is to enroll in the online academy. My kids are refusing, or disenroll from school district and began traditional homeschooling.
Okay, Dr. Aswani, you want to talk a little bit about that one?
Well, I think Yes, I think you answered it pretty elegantly. And as per the directions from the state, we've been told that the schools will open and children will come back unless children are on the online program with a school. So there's blended learning or what we're doing right now with some synchronous and asynchronous. That's the state is saying absolutely not. So we under the state of California are obligated to follow the rules and regulations that the state tells us to do. But we will keep you apprised. Again, things keep changing. We're keeping our fingers crossed that people are going to be safe, but we are going to be watching that closely. But as of right now, the only option is online schools. Like we have one called Virtual Academy. We were able to open that, and or traditional school with teachers in the classrooms.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to try to finish up in the next 2 minutes. And I know that some of you are asking questions that, and some of the questions that you're asking, we've answered before, and we apologize for that. But we'll definitely try to respond to as many as we possibly can. But we may not be able to answer all of the questions, and we would appreciate, and we want to try to address all of the questions. Go ahead. Let's see.
Oh,
Okay.
Thank you, Steffi, for tuning in. There was just a very simple question: will there be transportation? And Dr. Hawkins, I don't know if you want to just talk about that. It's an easy enough answer.
The simple answer is yes, except for those students who are attending our schools of choice, which would be UP and SIMS. They already do not receive transportation, but we, as I answered earlier, are attempting to operationalize, get a listing of who's coming back, and then we'll be making contact with those families relative to the stops that are closest to them.
Okay.
And I know that someone asked a question when the next panel, Mr. Riley, who are we scheduled for the next two?
Well, we definitely have Mr. Cerna, so we definitely have Hook, and I have not confirmed the other one, but maybe we should ask Ebony Purcell to join us, and
Okay.
and this person will be able to talk to them in 2 weeks. So we are going to do this again 2 weeks from now. We will be sending out another email. We'll be putting out the Facebook notification as well. And Dr. Williams, I don't know if there's anything else you want to say. I do apologize to anyone we didn't get to your question. We planned this for 30 minutes. We're at 37 right now. But we will be doing this again in 2 weeks, and we can address some more things. So Dr. Williams?
Yeah, and what we may do is, I know that we were talking about 2 weeks from now. We may turn around and have another one next week, and within the next 24 hours, we'll let our community know, because we know that things are changing very, very rapidly, and we want to be agile and provide information as rapidly to our community as we possibly can. But I can tell you that our goal is next to have Hook and potentially Atalanta High School, both principals from that school. We want to thank all of you for joining us this afternoon. Please check out our website for the latest updated information. We want to thank both of our principals, Dr. McNally and Mrs. Kunkel, as well as our association's president, Mrs. Martin, as well as Mrs. Martin, who else, or as well as Mrs. Tucker as well, when you're watching the stream. We really appreciate all of you participating, and most important, we appreciate our community participating, and we look forward to seeing you either next week or 2 weeks. And so if we can get everything together, we'll try to come back next week with 2 of our schools. Otherwise, we will see you 2 weeks from now. We thank all of you for attending, and be safe, everyone. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Good night.